Right. Okay, let's get right into it. Chris for talking to the media, and I'm gonna be doing my after show for Hawkeye. I just watched. I only watched episode 1. I'm not even going to try to watch episode 2 right now for 2 reasons. One, because I guess I'm gonna say it like the first episode didn't wow me enough to even think about staying up that late, but the main reason is because I got work in the morning. I gotta get up early anyway, and I went to bed early, and I had my alarm set to wake up. It's supposed to be like 2:00 in the morning because I'm Central Time here in the States, and I thought that I woke up a little bit, like 15 till 30 minutes till really. I got on TikTok, did a little pre-talk about it. And then I went on Disney Plus on my laptop. I fired it up thinking I'll just wait for it. And then it looked like it was available. So I saw something online that said that Disney might drop it like a few minutes early. Maybe I'm a few minutes early to it. Maybe they did it a couple hours early for all I know. But it seemed like it was just a couple of minutes. I was looking at other TikTokers. I think they were like a couple of minutes ahead of me, if not right there with me. So yeah, I'm gonna watch episode 2 after I wake up again, like when I'm out and about, and check it out. I mean, it was fun. It was some fun action. I like the fact that they got right into it, but we dove first into what just felt like the Katie show, the Katie characters, background and everything. Let me pull up names because I'm bad with it. Hawkeye and Haley Steinfeld, and we learned that she's a rich kid and everything, and has this previous lifestyle, and she loses her father during the attack in New York. So we started off with that, right? We go right into it, and I don't believe it said 2012. It kind of left it a little bit of a mystery. I was like, I think this might be New York City. Maybe this is the attack in New York. If we're going back in time, if this is the Katie character and she was a younger version, I was like, maybe she lost her parents in the attack of New York. And we went right into it, and that's exactly what happened. Where she lost her father was killed during the attack. And I gotta say something about that. I'm assuming I'm already with my little theories going into that, but I'm gonna save it for the end of the show. And the way it started off, like it just started off. It didn't even. I kept double checking Disney Plus. I'm like, is this Hawkeye? Is this episode 1? Because it felt like the Katie show. I'm like, what is this? And then when the opening credits, it opened up with an animation of her background, like her martial arts background, gymnastics background, medalist, probably an Olympian, archery, fencing, and all of that. And I like the way they did that, because I thought, okay, if we're going to go back in time, we're going to learn about her whole upbringing and stuff. But they wrapped it up quickly with the opening credits with this silhouette animation that I thought was better. I was like, okay, good. At least we're not gonna bore too much with, her whole, training. But the long story short, when one of the Chitauri was about to crash or attack her apartment that was already attacked after an explosion, but it looked like one was gonna attack even further. Hawkeye, that moment when in the Avengers when he destroyed and shot down a bunch of the Chitauri and was fighting off that building and did that epic jump back and fell off, inadvertently, he saved her life because it was coming right at her. And when she saw that impact on that changed her life forever. She told her mom, I want to learn how to shoot a bow and arrow at her father's funeral and all that stuff. And then long story short, we come back to the present time where we're after the blip, and she's getting into shenanigans and I guess in college and messing with things. But, it fast forwards to her and their mom looks like remarrying after all those years. It's been almost 10 years, I guess, after the death of her father. And let me put a pin on that now. Now her mom is about to remarry some guy who obviously is cast as is seen here as the swordsman. Now, the problem that I'm having so far with it is that the plot and the twists and everything seems so obvious, even within the first 20 minutes. I'm already feeling like there's no mystery here. I'm figuring things out. So let's put a pin on that for a second. So a mom is getting remarried to some guy. They pan over a sword. Because Katie's like, where'd that sword come from? Oh, and then her new boyfriend shows up that she knows. And the mystery about the fact that they're engaged. And he's cast as Tony Dalton is cast as the swordsman. Okay, so something about that. Then we get into this whole auction thing, this underground auction thing, because they go to a dinner, fancy little dinner with the uppity ups, and they're bidding on black market stuff. They're bidding on the Ronin sword and the Ronin outfit, and obviously it's because they're tied to the criminal underground that Ronin Hawkeye was killing during the end game. And that's who they're looking for. That's because that was revealed in the trailer. There's no mystery there. There's no mystery in this whole thing. Everything is pretty much obvious. So like I said, I'm gonna put a pin on it. Now let's move over. Now we finally get into to Hawkeye. He's with his family. He's got his son, his two sons, his daughter. They're in New York. They're having Christmas dinner. You're in New York City, man. You're not gonna pay for a meal. I'm like, they're having a nice dinner after watching a cheesy ass play, and I'm sitting there looking at this play like I'm feeling Jeromy Renner. Was it Clint? I'm feeling Clint watching this cheesy ass play called Rogers. That was about the events in the attack of New York, and I see these guys in costume, and I'm thinking, okay, are they gonna make fun of Hawkeye, or are they gonna do something cheesy with the Hawkeye character, not knowing that Clint is in the audience watching with his family? But then I was thinking, nah, that'd be too dumb. I mean, how would you not know or find out that an Avengers showed up? Or it would be tacky for anybody in New York to make fun of the Avengers, right? Then I see this dude in his red costume with the letter A on his chest is walking by. I'm like, Ant-Man. Ant-Man wasn't even there. What the hell are you talking about? That was the funniest moment of it. And Clint pointed that out. It's like this. I can't enjoy this play. The Ant-Man wasn't even there. I experienced it's like, you're not having a good time, Dad? No, I was there. I relive it. He has PTSD probably from all that. He doesn't want to relive all that. Why would you even go? That was the question. Why would you even go? Unless it was pure curiosity. Why the hell would you even go to this play? You were there. Why would you even want to watch this with your family, no less? That was one of the worst days of your life, and it led into even it's directly connected to the blip, and your whole family got wiped out. I wouldn't go to that play. I wouldn't take my kids. Wouldn't want to see that crap. Ain't no way in the world. They make a family friendly thing. Obviously, they think that they're honoring the Avengers, and they call the play Rogers, but to put Ant-Man in it, it was still like, well, I'm wondering why they even called out to Ant-Man like this in the beginning. The first episode is funny. It was just more funny than anything. But it was the comedy in this episode was just, it's just like, I don't know, the mood was off. It was like misplaced. I hope the show, the series gets better moving up. You're taking up from this, obviously you're introducing these characters, well, this one character, Katie, to the MCU, her mother, from the Conjuring series, Vera Farmiga. Okay. Who I love, by the way. But it was just, I'm like, am I gonna watch episode 2? Stay up late because I got work in the morning? No, I'll watch it. I'll watch it on the road, I guess. I'm not gonna stay up late. I'm not gonna stay up too long on this either. But overall, it was just okay. It was a beginning. honestly, because I know for a fact that now, just by watching what I watched, even though I love Haley Steinfeld as an actress, I loved her in Bumblebee. I know she can carry a franchise. I don't want to see a Katie led movie. This one episode, for some reason, it proved to me that there should never have, I'm glad they did a series, because this right here proved that there should never be a Hawkeye movie. But a lot of people saying the Hawkeye and the Black Widow movie was not necessary at all. And I like the Black Widow movie. That needed to happen. I like that. This would not have worked as a movie. And there's a TikTok friend that I have who's upset that the theme behind this is Christmas, but you know, MCU's never done a Christmas film, and they like to dabble with a lot of genres. Now, her reasons behind it, because Haley Steinfeld is Jewish and all that stuff, I'm like, that's ridiculous. But and Marvel is known to do an homage to a lot of different genres, like spy thrillers, buddy cop drama, things like the comedies and things like that. Now they're doing a Christmas. Now they're tackling Christmas. But now I'm thinking, yeah, this Christmas theme, it's not working for me. This Home Alone-ish kind of comedy feel to it. It's different. I like the fact that I love the fact that the MCU always gives us something different. So I'm gonna enjoy it because I used to love those types of movies. Do I enjoy it with a MCU-ish world? I don't know if I do yet, but I'm gonna choose to look at it as this is just some Marvel characters going through their normal thing, and it just happens to be Christmas in the background. Now I'm starting to agree with her as far as them leaning too much into the whole Christmas element into it. It just doesn't, it doesn't mix with me. I appreciate it because I love these types of movies. Even when they're action, even if they're comedy, I don't care. I love these types of movies. This episode, it doesn't, I'm just looking at it secondary. I'm not getting any holiday feels from it, the music and all that stuff. Frank Sinatra and all that stuff in the background and all these old classic songs. It's great. It's fine. But I'm putting that to the side. It's not mixing well with me. So the fact that it just happens to be Christmas or the holidays, I'm just going to say that's just a fact. It's just a fact. It doesn't work right now. And if they lean too much into it, which they didn't, I don't think it just right now, that's the tone they're going for. It just happens to be Christmas. And that's fine. But now I agree with her. The way they marketed it, this is for the holidays. This is a Christmas thing. Now I agree. Because at first I was like, well, no, if they do it right, if it'll feel, even if you're not religious, even if you don't like Christmas movies and stuff, sometimes it works with the execution. But the execution of from what I saw from episode 1, it's just like, that was the example that I gave. I said it was like Die Hard. That's not a Christmas movie. It just happened to be Christmas. It being Christmas has nothing to do with the plot of this movie. It just happens to be Christmas. So the whole marketing and angling towards Christmas was kind of misleading, because now I'm looking at the execution of it, and I was like, don't have a problem with it. Don't worry about it, because maybe the Christmas thing would just be an afterthought in the background. It just, all this stuff just happens to be. It could be happening during Halloween. It could have been happening during Thanksgiving. It could have been happening during the New Year's. It could have been happening during the 4th of July. It doesn't matter, because these same events would have probably still taken place. Just move it over in a September or something like that. Nothing changes. But the way they market it, as if this was going to be a Christmas themed kind of a show, because it can't be that moving forward if there's a season 2, right? But I understand it. I told her, I said, relax. Maybe it'll just be like Die Hard. It just happens to be Christmas, and it'll be fine. That's exactly what they're doing, but it's still, and it's not fine. The way she's right, because the way it would be different if they were being cheesy about it and leaning into the Christmas thing. But for some reason, the marketing of it and them leaning in on the whole Christmas thing with leading up to this movie, this TV series, it throws me off because it doesn't even need to be Christmas during this whole show. It's like I said, it's like Die Hard. It just happens to be Christmas. It doesn't even matter. So I don't know. So I have to force myself to push Christmas to the side, even though there's a lot of Christmas stuff in your face through the whole thing, and that's fine. But they're not doing it right, in my opinion. I grew up on a lot of these movies and these TV shows. It being Christmas really worked with like Home Alone and movies like that, Trains, Planes, and Automobiles. It really worked. Doesn't matter with this one. I thought it was gonna work like that on that level when I watched the show, and it didn't. It's like Die Hard. Doesn't matter if it's Christmas. It doesn't matter. That's just me. So overall, because of that, it threw me off, and I just like, the show's okay. I can see what they're gonna do moving forward. It's gonna probably pick up, especially when Black Widow's sister shows up, Florence. When she shows up, Florence Pugh. When Yelena shows up, it's gonna be yes. And I'm still convinced by episode she's gonna show up sooner than we think. It's not gonna be like a big thing at the end. I'm convinced that she'll probably be a problem in maybe episode 3, and then we'll fight and we'll get over it and then move on. And maybe she'll come at the very end and help or something like that. But I'm convinced that she's not going to be like the big bad at the end. It's this swordsman guy who seems like a bad guy, obviously. Obviously, they want to marry. So let's move back on to with Katie's family. Obviously, these underground guys are threatening her. They want her money, maybe the inheritance. She said she didn't grow up rich, so maybe she's a part of it. Now here's the mystery, and it's not. I don't know. Maybe they're not going to make it a mystery, but here's what I'm picking up right now, and maybe if you guys could agree with me or not, or maybe I'm just going crazy. But here's my wild theory. Katie's mom is in on it. Whatever's going. Obviously, if she's being threatened by the old man, that's obvious. But I'm thinking, like we didn't see how Katie's father died. So, you know what I mean? I'm wondering what's going on with that. I'm thinking by the end of the season we're gonna revisit that whole thing. Like it's supposed to make you think that when the Chitauri attacked, maybe her father got crushed or something, maybe died that way. Probably, maybe, but they didn't show it. I mean, they don't need to show it. And it showed her mom mysteriously just coming out of nowhere to grab her and get her out of there. That's fine, but they were arguing about something. And now she's a part of being threatened by these underground dudes that want Ronan. And anybody who wants Ronan is a part of the mob. And if they're making threats and messing with the mom, obviously they're doing it for her money, right? Because she said she didn't come up with money. So maybe Katie's father is mobbed up, and maybe that's the comic book background. But I don't know anything about the comic book of Hawkeye. I don't know. I never read Hawkeye coming up, so I don't know nothing about Katie. But I'm assuming that's what the mystery is going to be. And if that is, it's not doing a good job. For all I know, Katie's mom killed her father, so that's what it's probably going to be by the end of this whole season. If they're doing a mystery kind of a thing, it's not really being done that great. And this whole, I don't know. And maybe there's a reason why they decided to do it in the Christmas time, and maybe they're going to tie that in to it. But for right now, it just feels like it's trying to be like Die Hard, where Christmas is just a matter of fact in the background, doesn't really have anything to do with anything. And there's a way to do that type of a movie, and then there's a way to do like a Home Alone. And it's like this they feel like with the wackiness of the action, it feels like they're trying to weave between both, like a mix between Die Hard and Home Alone. And those aren't two movies you can blend because there's no real balance. Like that's what it feels like they're trying to do. They're trying to find a balance between those two films, and I don't think it's gonna work moving forward. If that's the theme of the show, that's fine, but I just don't feel it. It's just not hitting me. So it threw me off a little bit. I'm gonna finish watching episode 2 later on, but I'm about to go to bed. So when you guys finish watching it, you can no spoilers. I'm gonna watch it in a couple hours. Let me know what you guys think about my assessment about episode 1 from what I'm figuring out in episode 1. Give me a thumbs up if you watch my review of episode 1, my introduction to this, all the way to the end. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll talk about it maybe on my we got your mail. Again, guys, I'm streaming this on Wednesday early in the morning. I usually do a show on Wednesday, but usually it's at night. We are not doing an episode of Talking Through the Media's proper on a regular scheduled time. So this is it. This is it for Talking Through the Medias. I decided to do it for a Hawkeye after show. I enjoyed it. I love Jeromy Renner. I love I love Haley Steinfeld. But the feeling of this show so far isn't off to a great start with me. It's not that great. And I feel like because of the whole, like, it's trying to find that balance between a Home Alone Christmas themed and a Die Hard. I feel like it's a tug of war, and I don't know where it's going to land. Probably on the Die Hard side of it, since this is the MCU, but it's starting off Home Alone-ish, and it feels like it's going to get serious. So it's like, pick a lane. I don't know. That's just me. But that's how I felt about it. But I did enjoy it. But I didn't enjoy it enough to stay up to watch the second episode. So I'm just going to wrap this up, go to bed, and I'll watch the second episode in the morning. So let me know what you guys think about it, guys. Send your thoughts, your comments, and everything below. Put in the box below. You know, you can see right here to my left right there. You can see that you can watch the podcast if you want to catch this or the Talking Through the Media show on podcast, your streaming podcast of choice. And send your questions, put in the box, as I always say. Support the channel at streamlabs.com/T3media/tips. And let's just keep talking, guys. And hit me up on social medias at T3medias, or with me directly, or at T3medias, and send me your questions, comments, and concerns, and anything on topic that you want me to talk about right here on the show. And until next time, guys, hey, peace.
Our supporters help make all this content possible, so make sure you check out our Patreon page so you can help us bring you the content you want.
Push the pedal to the freaking metal. I'm turned up just like heavy metal. Yo. Turned up on another level. Push the pedal to the freaking metal. I'm turned up just like heavy metal.